everyone, my name is Engelbrecht and welcome to Vox Weather. Today we'll be talking about climate change, what it is and how does it affect you here in South Africa. I want to introduce to you Professor Engelbrecht, but I'm going to read his introduction because he really deserves the best first impression. Professor Engelbrecht is a distinguished, well-known professor at the Global Change Institute at Wits University. He's a climate modeler, one of the lead authors in the latest IPCC Assessment Report 6 that was recently released. He also sits on a number of WMO, which is the World Meteorological Organization, international committees to help further the science of climate change. But lastly, he's also a mentor for a lot of young scientists like myself. Welcome, Prof.
Thanks so much, Annette, for having me.
It's a pleasure. And this is actually what we want to talk about, is climate change and climatology. In just a very short summary, what is climate change?
Well, to answer that question, we have to start talking first about what climate is.
Yeah.
That's, of course, simply the long-term statistics of weather. So we are sitting here in Johannesburg today. If we take the average of the last 50 years of temperature measurements, we have the average temperature or the climatological temperature of Johannesburg. We can do the same for rainfall. We can do the same for the number of thunderstorms per year. Of course, we can also calculate the monthly statistics. Those statistics are supposed to stay stable over time. And when we start to observe systematic trends in those statistics, then we refer to that as a change in the climate or climate change.
Thank you for that summary, Prof. And I actually have always been wondering now, what is the difference between climate change and global warming? I think a few of you back home was wondering that question.
Well, yes, we can think as global warming as being one part of climate change. It's also not wrong to think of global warming as the cause of climate change. So let me explain how that works more or less. Global warming refers to the systematic increase in the world's average temperature at the surface of the planet. That is strictly speaking the definition of global warming. So the planet is supposed to have a so-called natural temperature of about 14 degrees Celsius at the surface of the planet.
Okay.
And that temperature will remain the same unless one changes something to the energy budget of the planet. Now that has indeed been happening over the last several decades. We will talk about why that is the case soon.
Yeah.
But what we have been observing is a systematic increase in the temperature of the planet at its surface.
Okay.
And that systematic increase has become known as global warming.
Okay.
And the value of global warming has now reached a value of about 1.1 degrees Celsius.
Sure.
And that is measured with respect to the so-called natural temperature. We call that with the natural temperature, I mean the pre-industrial temperature of the planet. So pre-industrial temperature, that means the temperature the planet had before our species started to pump carbon dioxide into the atmosphere by burning coal and oil mostly.
Yep.
So that's the process of global warming. It's the systematic increase in temperature of the planet at its surface. This warming has been accelerating in the last 5 decades or so. And of course it is projected to continue for as long as we continue pumping carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Now, as soon as the planet is warming up, there's of course more energy available in the atmosphere, there's more energy available in the ocean, and of course something is going to happen with that energy. The atmosphere, for a start, uses that energy to build weather systems that are more intense. For example, tropical cyclones are becoming more intense. The more energy there is available, the more heat there is available in the system, the more intense such systems can become. Of course, a warmer atmosphere can also hold more water vapor. So there's more moisture available to build intense storm systems such as tropical cyclones. Now, the systematic change in weather patterns that we are observing across the planet, to that we refer to as climate change.
Thank you, Prof. That helps a lot to better understand the difference between climate change and global warming.